Alrighty, welcome to the Laser Sports Academy pod, everybody. It's an exciting night. We've got the Catalyst boys on. Woo!
Yippee.
Yeah, big welcome to the Catalyst boys. I'll introduce them one at a time for all our international viewers that might have been hiding under a rock. First, I want to introduce a four-time ZLTAC champion, a very long resume, which includes a first in doubles, a second in doubles, a triples third, a solos second, a Lord of the Rings second and third, and a juniors championship. Big welcome to Mr. Nick Risk or Wax.
Hello.
Hey, good to see you here, brother. We also have a four-time ZLTAC champion, solos third, triples third times three, doubles first times two, Lord of the Rings second times two, and a juniors champion. A big welcome to Mr. Husky, Cody Dillon. Welcome.
How's it going?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. Thank you for being here, sir. And the new man in town, he got a third place in his first ever ZLTAC playing for Eclipse last year. Big welcome to Mr. Diego Owens, also known as Lilbo.
Hola, that's me. Hi. Hello.
Hey. So yeah,
Let's show
Lilbo's
off the trophy already.
the new dog, the new Catalyst player in town. And just for a brief introduction for our international viewers that might not have met these guys before or know who these guys are. So Husky and Wax played on a team called Wolfpack that they're going to tell us all about. Those guys won, three ZLTAC championships together. And then they recently changed their name to Catalyst, and they've won their most recent ZLTAC event as Catalyst. And yeah, they have a long resume. They also got second and third. So the first ever year they played ZLTAC, they got third. Then the second year they got second. And then the third year they won, and they haven't lost since. So they've been in a final every year they've played. And they also won the Rumble, which was the competition that was played during COVID. It had all the big teams in town, but it wasn't the ZLTAC event. It was the ZLTAC event was cancelled. So we all gathered in Brisbane, played a comp called the Rumble, and they won that too. So they've pretty much done everything at a very young age. And tonight we get to unpack them and find out about their background, and yeah, hopefully a little bit about what happens behind the scenes. So, yeah, welcome along, guys. And to kick it off, I just want to quickly ask you about the change from Wolfpack to Catalyst. Tell us about what the reason for the change was and how you came up with the name.
So yeah, I guess. So I guess actually, because you could probably explain where Wolfpack came from a bit better than I can. So you go with that. You start with that if you want.
Okay, so just the name is just from a game that Grub and I played, and there was a gun that was really strong, and it had this thing called Wolfpack rounds, and it was just a group of, you'd shoot one bullet, and then all the bullets would just destroy the thing. So it was just like a group of things just destroying things, pretty much, and it was just like from a game we loved. So from Destiny 2. Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And then that's where that came from.
Yeah. And then obviously we stuck with that name for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. But obviously once we had a few people move on, obviously the big captain, Lakio, and Payne and things move on, we decided we need a bit of a change because it wasn't exactly the exact same team we started off with. So we switched it to Catalyst. I don't really think we have a reason for Catalyst.
Nah, Catalyst is the same thing.
The name. Yeah,
Same thing.
Is it the same thing? Oh,
it's an accident.
I didn't
It
know
works
this, really.
perfectly. It's like the same thing in Destiny. When you upgrade a gun, you get a catalyst for it, and it makes it better. So it's making a gun better. So it's kind of like, it's not meaning it, but it is also like it's worked because it's like we've made the team's gotten better, but like it's not like it has. It's just like it just accidentally worked, and Wham picked the name randomly, and then it just so happened to work perfectly with our Destiny 2 thing.
Damn, got that name for a bad game.
Oh no!
So now we're going to change the team name to Lilbo, right? Because Lilbo's coming on, team's getting better.
That's true.
Find that logic.
True.
So thank you for the name. And I remember you guys kind of had to like arm wrestle another team for Wolfpack, didn't you? Was it the first year when you guys chose Wolfpack?
Yes, I still remember we made a joke that because they also had
Southern Wolfpack.
that Southern Wolfpack.
That's
They
right.
had it in Brisbane, and then they had the same thing for Adelaide, and we made a joke. We didn't make with them, unfortunately, but we made a joke that whoever
I think we did.
beat
I think
who-
we said that to them
Did
that
we?
if we beat you guys in a game, and then we actually in the round robin, it wasn't a perfect round robin, so we missed them in the round robin, so we
That's
didn't actually
right,
play
yep.
them at the tournament. from
Yeah, so
memory.
you had to wait all the way to the next tournament to play them.
They just kept. I don't know. Maybe it was just like they were like, well, we had the name for at the same time, so it's probably fair. But
Well, they eventually stood aside, let you guys be the dominions of the name. Thank you for Southern Wolfpack for that. So I wanted to start with you, Lilbo. You're coming into a team with a big reputation, and you've come off a team who did exceptionally well in your first year as well. So, but tell us a little bit about what it's like jumping on a team like that. What's one of the big things that surprised you, or one of the big kind of things that you've noticed jumping on the team?
You have no idea how nerve-wracking it is to try and fill shoes this big. It's insane.
it's just Foley's shoes. What do you mean? Come on.
Exactly. No, it's like this change has been great. Like as much as I definitely love playing with these guys, getting third, it's like jumping from that team to this team, because it's kind of hard to explain. I feel like all Queenslanders play very similar, all the teams, but it's still like very slightly different. So I've come into a team that plays like that little bit more aggressive than Eclipse does, and it's like, I don't know, it's very fun to go very fast. You know what I mean? Plus, I get to join and play with all my good new friends that I've made over the past few years, and it's been fantastic. I think it's been a really good change.
Has it been like have people looked at you differently when you walk in the foyer, like players from other states and other teams, other areas? Do people kind of recognise you more? Like, what's it like?
I felt like as soon as people found out that I was like the next person on the team, like word spread very quickly. Like I was having people from like random states like Darwin and Adelaide being like, "Oh, I heard you made it onto Catalyst," and I was like, "What? I've like spoken to you like once in my life. How do you know this?" So I feel like it's kind of like a big deal that I've changed, and I feel like people would kind of view me differently because I'm not just like the sixth man on this like really good Eclipse team anymore. It's like I'm now on, you know what I mean? It's kind of
The shitter on the best team.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yes. Well, yeah, mate, you're a big dog now. People are going to look at you different, going to treat you different, going to call you when you're not expecting it, going to message you out of the blue. All those things will happen.
It's been fun though.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was very interesting. Got more coming for you soon, Lilbo. But before we ask you more questions about your transition into Catalyst, I wanted Husky and Wax to take us back first. We'll go right the way back to the beginning so they can share with us the formative years of the Wolfpack, even pre-Wolfpack. How did you guys get into playing League and playing laser sports? And then what was the catalyst for you guys, pardon the pun, getting into ZLTAC?
I think did you start the same? I think I started a little bit later than Nick and Brennan, I think initially, because did we start at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Beautiful. Together.
And we played together, and we ended up sticking it out. The other boys that we actually started with a few other school friends. They ended up leaving. They were just weren't good enough. No, actually,
they didn't enjoy it as much. I think.
In all honesty, I think I was worst on the full set of the players.
What's changed?
And then
I'm kidding.
Just because you've come on this team
I'm kidding.
and you're going to try and take my spot. No, I'm kidding.
Continue.
It's okay. A little bit
Yeah.
of cover. It's fine.
Such a joke.
Sorry.
You literally work at Coles.
You're loving this room.
Yeah, it's great. No, and I hadn't really spoken to Lakio or Wham or anything at the time. So basically, I believe you pulled us down, Says, and you're like, "Hey guys, I've got this grand idea," because we'd heard about nationals and stuff, but we hadn't really thought a huge deal about it. And then I think you brought us all together. You're like, "Oh yeah, okay, I want you guys to be a team. Awesome. This is how a team runs." I think initially you actually mentioned that I should be the captain.
Oh.
And that was... Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Originally, he was like,
that.
"Yeah, no, you should be a
Husky
captain." I
so
think the
good at
only
this.
reason, because I was an absolute spastic on the first encounter with them. And I was like, because we weren't talking to Wham or Link you at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go introduce myself." And it turns out that interaction actually made them hate me at first.
There was a lot of that. Like it was like it was 3 and 2, and then they liked Grub a little bit, and then the 3 of them, it was just Husky and I, and it was just like, and then it got better over time. But at first, it was terrible.
Is that true? So I just put you guys all together with a bunch of people that you hated and like forced you
not hated,
like to hang out until you liked each other.
It didn't take that long, but there definitely was a point where it wasn't like it didn't click for like just even existing with each other didn't click for a while, and then it started to get a lot better over time.
Yep.
There you go. Do you guys remember going to Laser Force?
Yeah, I remember that day. Laser Force and lunch. I was trying to remember where lunch was. Was it Nando's?
My god!
Or...
Yeah, Nando's. Oh my god!
I still remember going to Laser Force and just seeing the little spinny ring and like, there's no way that people play this. Like, this is there's no shot. This is not real.
Yeah, I think we're all in disbelief at the sheer level of danger in that arena on that particular day.
Stairs, spinny lights.
Like, Jesus, I should have got their parents to sign a waiver before bringing them out to this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but how did you guys? What were you guys drawn to when you first started the league? I've never asked you that question. Like, what was it that kept you there, kept you at league?
I actually don't know. I feel like we played League because we played LSA as a party, and then we had a little brochure, and then we're like, oh, we should do this for fun. And then I think when we played League, it was kind of like all of us stayed for one season, and then the second season we lost 2 of our friends. So there was 5 of us that came. We lost 2 of them the second season, and then I think after that it was just kind of like we enjoyed it a little bit. We were all between sports. I just quit cricket and wasn't really doing much except for like playing games. So like I just needed something. I don't remember what did you have a sport, Cody, or
no, I was playing I think I was just finishing rugby league at the time, but like I was super duper skinny at the time. There's probably previous photos somewhere of me, which is ridiculous. So like I quit because I was like, these people are getting way too big. And then these guys brought up LSA, and I was like, ooh, okay.
That's something I could
sure
do as a scrawny
we give this a try. And then I think the big thing that, especially my first season, I was on a team with, I think it was Wooldot, Orcry, and Waffles, if anyone remembers Waffles from Brisbane. And they were lovely. They were fantastic. Like, Waffles was really welcoming, and we had a lot of really good chats, and like, he was just absolutely amazing. And Orcry actually showed me a lot of little bits and pieces with defending, because obviously, as you know, for your team especially, he was a defender. So he was a big influence actually on how I played defense a lot, especially when I was younger. And then Callum was just funny, so he was class. So I think that really kept me in the team, and I was with Brendan as well at the time, Grub. So yeah, that's what kind of kept me, the league scene at the time. Yeah,
I remember there was kind of like a hook point where you guys were like, it's the same with everybody. They first start and they're like, oh, is this a worthwhile way to spend my discretionary time? And then you guys got to this hook point, and it kind of coincided with we had a Nats coming up. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, okay, so it was a little bit of a zone experiment at the time. I was like, okay, if you get a bunch of talented young kids together and put them in the best training environment possible, how far can they go in a short period of time? Because we didn't have a lot of time. I remember it would have been maybe less than a year or so.
Yeah. Because I just remember this conversation is like unlocked a core memory for me. I remember I was very close to quitting because you guys were practicing for Bendigo and you remade Red into Bendigo. And I just remember being like, why would they change the maze? This is so stupid. Why would they do this? Red was so good. Now it's terrible. And I was just like, I'm quitting. I'm done. But I think you guys came back from Bendigo winning, and maybe like, we were like, oh, this is actually really cool. I don't remember watching Bendigo. Did you watch Bendigo at all, Cody?
No, I didn't watch any Bendigo.
There was no stream back then.
No. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. No, the first year we had the stream was 2017 when Guinea and Ibo just decided to turn the mic on and start talking over the top of the scoreboard, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is fun to listen to."
Did we not have a stream in Brisbane? We had the scoreboard streamed, right? At least.
And we had a little media team as well.
We had a media. Did we not have?
Yeah, we did pre-recorded. We did all the games are pre-recorded and then post-produced. Yeah, so we didn't realise the power of the live until like 2017 and beyond, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Yeah, that was you guys. It was we had Lakeo and Wham Fox come to league as a little couple of mates, and
Yeah.
you guys, and they were like, and then there was your little crew, and you guys like never interacted with each other,
God.
and I'm
I
like,
remember
oh, okay, can we get these guys in the same room?
we had one of our mates used to go to like a youth group, and Wham and Lakeo went to the same youth group. We had no idea, and one night me, Brendan, like Husky, like a bunch of our friends went to the youth group, and we just saw them there, and we just waved at them, and that was it. We were like, oh, hello, and then that was it, and walked away. And like that's how our interactions were when we would see them at first, because we were like, these people hate us, like they think we're weird. Which is probably fair because I was a lot louder back then.
Well, look what happened, mate. You guys grew to love each other. So what was it like playing that first pre-nats then? Because that was the first exposure you guys had ever had. I said the first pre-nats we ever had that's the one that we went to, like, remember we went all through the night. We went at like...
I just remember I remember the big Costco pizza and you coming up to us and being like, don't eat this is bad, like you need to put good things in your body during laser tag. Yeah. And we're just like munching on these huge pieces of pizza.
Yeah, sleeping under the table.
Yeah.
I have two memories. I have one, the how late it went, and like since we were still in school at the time, like we just weren't, at least I wasn't used to being up that late. So I was struggling, man. I was trying to fall asleep. I remember one time I fell asleep. I learned the experience of learning not to fall asleep. Never fall asleep because someone tied my shoelaces together. My tired brain at like 3 a.m. in the morning just got up with on top of the seat. Like I didn't get down on the ground. I stood up on the seat and just went straight head first, straight onto the ground off the seat. And it still took me a second to process what happened. So I was like, what?
We did our best to turn you off laser tag from an early age, but you just kept coming back, having comps in the middle of the night, tying your shoelaces together. No. It was a pretty cool comp. You guys remember you finished 5th in your first ever comp, and you were playing against. You guys finished 5th, first ever pre-nats comp, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, who are these guys? They finished 5th in their first ever comp."
It's so wild because now you've played for that much longer, you don't realize how crazy something like 5th place in your first year is. Like now, like you look back now, and 5th is like I look now and I'm like, if you get 5th, that's unbelievable, unheard of. And I guess the competition's a bit bigger now.
5 new players as well, like that's
like 5 complete new players. It's a pretty like wild thought.
But home site back then was like a lot stronger. Like I feel
yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. Home site recently hasn't been as strong because there hasn't been as many strong home site teams, but. Like I think Brisbane, there was a lot of strong home site teams, and we had that. That was a big advantage. Like I don't think we were better than some of the teams above us. We just like played the maze all the time, so it was easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you had a bit of a climb too. So you kind of like weren't in 5th, but then on the final day you kind of climbed up to it. But it was, and that was the story early on for you guys, wasn't it? It was like amazing pack skills, still figuring out how to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. There are still clips from like finals of a completely dumped base. I think it was Cobras or you guys who had dumped off red, and there was like one of us just appeared. We're waiting for the base to come up. Then another one of us appear. Another one appears, and there's like 4 people at this base at one point, and we're all just sitting there covering an empty base. Meanwhile, our base is getting absolutely wrecked, and we're just like, it's fine, boys. And I think, I don't know if Lakeo or someone turns around and goes, why are we all here?
Lakeo comes to check where everyone is because he sent Wham there or something, and we're all there trying to get the base. Like
if you did that now, oh my god.
That's a finals game as well. That's how.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Wild.
It's wild.
You guys were pretty raw, but to your credit, like I feel like post the first nationals, might have been the first one, 2016. We might have had a bit of a catch up. Like I was trying to guide you guys, but realised I didn't really need to do anything. All I needed to do is make sure you guys rocked up to training and just, every now and then we'd have a quick word early. But I knew early on that you guys were going to figure it out for yourselves and surpass anything that we'd ever done. So I was pretty hands off with you guys, and you guys just you pretty much only made your mistakes once. Remember the time that Lakey didn't get his colour choice in time.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, "You've got a minute to make your choice, mate." And he's just thought I was joking. He's standing at the counter, just looking at me, and I'm like, the timer goes off, and I'm like, "Okay, you get whatever the statistically weakest base was." He's like, "Oh, I thought you were joking." I'm like, "No, mate, we're running a real comp here. Like, we've got to play." So yeah. Anyway, he only made that mistake once as well. So, like, yeah.
We only grabbed the wrong coloured packs that comp for first time and last time ever as well.
Oh, did you?
And we all got termed. Yeah, we went into the game with the wrong packs, and we all got. I think
we didn't get points. No, our team and the other team didn't get points.
Two teams didn't get points.
The team that came out, I didn't think they won that game, but they argued the point. They were like, no, they picked the wrong colors, therefore they should get 0 points, and that's what happened. I think it was Sharks. Was it Sharks?
I remember it was Dover's team, which was Killshot or something, and us, and I don't remember who the other team was. But
yes.
Lessons learned. Never again.
Yeah.
Always double check before you pick up your pack.
Yeah, and your card, right? Us.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been better.
No, it hasn't. You didn't. You lost your card on the first day of pre-nuts.
Yeah, no, I didn't lose it. I left it in my other pants, and I got it for finals, mind you. And for the last nationals, I didn't forget my card. Thank you.
All right. So for all the international viewers out there, Husky has a reputation. If you see him come up with a Richard card at nationals, you're going to know exactly what this reputation's for. He loves to leave his card at home.
Mopar loves me.
Yeah, Mopar's his best friend. So this is a good segue, gentlemen, in terms of talking about a little bit about how you guys have changed and how the dynamic has changed since those early years, because you guys were kids, right? You were 16, 17 when you started. And then you went through was Payne came in your second year? Third year?
Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Second. He came in Adelaide, second year. So there was the transition into getting Payne, and then there was the transition, the most recent transition, which we'll talk about soon. But what was it like? How would you say the transition from like Brisbane through to kind of Darwin, that period of time, how you guys changed as individuals and how you guys, how the dynamic of the team changed over that period of time?
Well, I guess from a team dynamic, once we kind of realized that we could actually challenge for the first place after our first nationals, we switched on straight away. Like a lot of the teams take breaks straight after nationals. I feel like we switched straight on, and we were
Brisbane.
No?
It was Brisbane. You and I switched on, and that's when we put a lot of time in. And the other three kind of were like, yeah, we care, but didn't show up. Like they did, they still played, but they didn't play nearly as much as you and I, because that's those times when you and I were there 3 times a week, going crazy all the time. And they came back closer to Nats. And we asked Payne, I don't remember exactly when we asked Payne, but I think Payne was training with Husky and I a lot. And then the other 3 came back, and then we all were like pushing for Adelaide. And then after Adelaide, I still remember when the first day we got back after we lost and was so sad. We were at the site the day we got back, and I can't remember if it was you or Callum came into the site and was like, "What are you guys doing here? We just finished Nats. Like, what the hell?" And we're like, "We're not letting you in again. It's not happening." And then and then we trained. That year was like lights out. Like Albury was the only thing that was in our way was Cobras at pre-nats. Like, I feel like that. And then Sunny Coast, I feel like we had to completely relearn the game. Like Sunny Coast was like the hardest year because we just played one way. We just were, I wouldn't say we were all better on the packs, but we as a team were collectively better in what we did and how we played at Albury. I think I might be coping, but I think in Adelaide we were better than you guys. We just you guys were just older, smarter. Like we hadn't learned the game yet. We were better pack on pack. We just couldn't put it together because we were still just children, and Payne's just hard throwing finals because he's an old man. And then
hard throwing finals. Oh, shit.
Have you seen any of the clips? Have you rewatched it?
No, I haven't, but I've missed something. So please tell us.
He's like, hi, this is the wall, right? And he'll like he was holding his gun weirdly and putting its screen out and just sitting there in the base in the finals. Oh, it's so good. You have to watch it. It's like he had no idea what he was doing, but he was so confident in his last signing ability in Adelaide.
Yeah.
But Sunny Coast was the biggest one. Like we obviously, I still remember pre-Nats 3 losing, not making finals at pre-Nats 3, losing to WA B team, like, just like, it was terrible. Like, it was, I just remember sitting on the couch, like, this is, we need to do something. Like, this is terrible. And then during nationals, we before nationals, we spoke about a lot what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it differently. Had a lot of arguments, but I think at Nats we somewhat worked it out. But I still think we were the third team there. We just like, I tried my hardest to make us lose, and we still won. Like, I was trying my hardest.
I still remember in game 3 of that series, listening to just the denials from our team, and me and Payne, because we were playing like 3 hard out just to go hard on bases, and we needed to, because we knew we were down on that final game, but we were like, we need to do everything we can to defend the crap out of the space. So I really wish there was audio, because me and Payne were just back and forwards, just talking absolute crap out of our ass,
putting the Spartans through the ringer.
Oh yeah, like we were just we weren't really talking about them. I think we were just talking about our team, because we thought we were completely out of it. And then we walked out, and
but then they didn't lose a base. Then I got my base. Then we got a red base. Then we got a blue base. Somehow 100 points or whatever it is, bring it back. But I think. Oh, sorry, you go, but
so you finish. Well, I was gonna ask. Do you think one of the reasons that year was the preparation? Do you feel like your preparation dropped off from what the amount of work you put into 2018?
I think you guys. I think Beavers and Spartans were putting in a lot more effort, and that's like it showed. And but I don't think we didn't put in effort. We just weren't making the drive up to Sunny Coast like you guys. We were just playing at home. You guys were making the drive, and it ended up being a lot more useful than we expected. And I just think the way that the Maze played was so different to how we played. It was difficult for us to adapt, and it was a big step to do that.
Yeah. I think like one of the ways that we used to look at your team was that you would regularly make strategic in the early days. These days it doesn't happen, but you'd make strategical errors in the early days because you could still make strategical mistakes and win the game a lot. So this was in the early years. You were so much better on the packs that even if you made strategical errors, you didn't get punished for it. And perhaps at Sunny Coast, that's where it kind of caught up with you. Don't know. But I did. What I did learn, I learned a big lesson actually out of the way you approach things in your training, Husky, and the culmination was Sunny Coast, because I remember when you were first learning, one of the bits of advice that we would give is, you're excellent at defending. Now you want to try and fill out the rest of your game. And you would say to me, you'd be like, I just love defending so much, and I just want to become the best defender possible. And I was like, that's cool. You're getting really good, but like there's other areas of the game you want to fill out. And then what I saw happen over the next couple of years, and then what happened in Sunny Coast with how dominant you guys were defending, I realised the value of a specialist, like having a specialist on there. And I feel like you can't have everybody on your team as a specialist, but the advantage of having somebody on your team who can do something that other players can't do is like absolutely gold.
100%. I think this is the best thing. I think this is what makes a team. You make a soccer team around a defender, this, that, attacker, this. Like, people just make a LSA team and just like 5 people who can attack, 5 people who can do kind of good at everything. You need to have someone who can be under, feel comfortable, be really good. A door defender that's very comfortable and is okay with not scoring as many points, not getting bases, because that you can't get 10 every game. It's not going to happen. And you need to have some ego Andy who's going to run out and kill everyone every game. A good switched on head with a captain. Like, this is why I think we've always done well, is because we've always had like a good mixed match of players. Everyone fills a good role. Everyone fits their role well. And as a team, it works really well. But if we just like slot it into other teams, maybe it might not work as well. But as a team, like, it just is like, is really useful and good with the
absolutely. I think it actually worked out really well as well, being able to learning how to defend under the base as well as I've kind of learned. Also for, I guess, attacking as well. Because as much as my positioning outside base definitely has required a little work over the last couple of years, being able to get inside the base like I can and use that knowledge to also get bases as well and defend myself has been like a huge bonus, especially for like events like doubles. Being able to control a base as well as like with Nick and then with Jimmy as well, being able to control bases like we were. I think one of our strategies for even like at blue base for doubles was literally just hold blue base for as hard as we can, get a bunch of get our blue bases, get a bunch of the traffic getting there, and then backing off to the next couple bases. Worked really, really well for us. So it's kind of benefited in that way as well. But obviously, when you get to places like Bendigo, where there's no inside, that was that was probably one of the biggest learning curves for me over the years. Was okay. Now you've got to get a bit of confidence outside of a base, which was a bit of a learning curve, but I think we managed okay.
Yeah. Okay, just quickly on that before I want to ask Lilbo a question very shortly, but just while we're on the Bendigo,
That's AFK.
because it's a good question that I think a lot of viewers would be curious about, because everybody looked at the Bendigo arena and went, "What's Husky going to do?" The reality was, I think on the stats on the solo ladder, you come up pretty good actually. I think you were still ranked pretty well.
Yeah.
From memory, I haven't got it in front of me.
Yeah, it was like, I think I did okay. I figured out a really good way to run. I guess I just ran the forest and played that kind of like playing inside a base and just used that to my advantage. It kind of sucked though, because in pre-nats I played probably some of the best LSA I played in like years. Like it was amazing. But then I got to nationals and then I picked up like a leg injury, which meant that the mobility inside the forest area just completely ceased. So anyone that could just move around the wall quicker than me, I just couldn't get to because I was just screwed.
He literally, in the last game of finals, had a bung leg, couldn't walk, didn't tell us because he wanted to play. He wanted to play. Instead of telling us that he was injured and physically couldn't run, he lied to us and said he was fine just because he wanted to play.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dumb mistake. I just remember, thank God for Dodge.
Dodge went crazy.
And it's thank God for Dodge, but like I remember I had to go on attack and I just couldn't move. I literally went into like that little near the middle reload and I just sat there. I'm like, I can't get to this base. Like I can't dive. Like I'm in so much pain. Like it was a bad time. Like yeah.
No good.
So Dodge never pays for a drink again, ever.
Dodge won us now.
Right,
Dodge running off and playing solos because we didn't tell him what to do. He just wandered to green. He was like, "Where's my team?" And then he didn't kill anyone. He gets in the base, sees volley, and then shoots the base. That's what wins us nats. Is like both our new players.
For you guys.
Yeah, both our new players not knowing what the hell was going on, and we won because of that. Like that's how stupid it was.
Worry, mate.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, kids at home looking to become champion laser tag players. You just got to
do stupid things,
and things work out. No, Lilbo, I want to hear from you. What do you think the biggest strength is of these guys now that you've played outside of this team and played inside of this team?
See, I was like sitting here contemplating this question, and then you guys kind of just like answered it for me. So pretty much everything that you said about like having that kind of like specialist and that good mix match of players, I think everyone in their roles at this current time does very well in their specific roles. However, we can like expand out from that. So like, for example, Cody in a base and Wax going and getting points and Grub running the games and Wham being the bloody good door defender that he is. It's like we're all that just like perfect role for each other, if that makes sense. And I think as well as that, being such good friends also is like a big thing. You can't really like throw a team together and just like expect to win if no one likes each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like a classic example is you guys getting into each other earlier, right? So that's a perfect example of like when you become really good friends with people, just how quick it can speed up the communication, because you guys can come out of a game and go, Cody, you screwed this up. Shut up, Nick, you did that. And like, you're not going to take it personally. Everyone's just going to go, cool, and then move on. So that whole building the relationship, I mean, sometimes you put onto a team where you don't have those relationships. And it just means that you've got to sometimes be a bit more gentle with the communication because you don't know people as well. So it can impact the speed at which you can develop and grow. So yeah, as a young team, if you get an opportunity to do that, to build the relationships with your team, so that when something goes wrong, you can have a frank conversation with them without anybody getting personally offended by it. That's a super handy thing, and you guys have got that in spades. You've known each other so long now. Like, I'm sure there's like zero space between somebody screwing up and another player letting them know about it.
Yeah.
True. I think it is a very useful thing though, because like you can just come straight out of a game. What do you was this? What's that? And then it's never like, and maybe at first you slowly tiptoe, like you're starting to learn people a lot more. But I think when you get to a point when you've been playing together as long as we have, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what was that? Like, and then you just talk about it, and it's fine.
You can get mad and then just kind of like GG go next, and then just start talking about the next game all happy.
Yeah.
I still remember coming out of Adelaide, and because I used to have a really bad habit of just shooting out of doors randomly and just hitting hitting teammates constantly. So like every game I'd come out and be like, "You did it again!" Ah! Like, I'm sorry.
Please.
Yes. All right, guys. So, all right. Next thing I want to move on to. All right. Underrated player on your team. Who is it? Who's the most underrated player on Catalyst? And why?
Underrated.
All of you guys get to have a go. Lilbo, you go first because you've spoken the least, so you get to go first again.
Yeah. Like, it's such a tough question. I would actually... No, this isn't a tough question. I want to say Wham is like the most underrated player because no one gives Wham the respect that he deserves. The statistics don't show it, but Wham actually does so much for our team in terms of like in-game. He doesn't come out with like godly amount of points like some of us do, but he's like always there and he's always doing his job so damn well. It's just, I think he doesn't get given the respect. And
he wins all his standoffs. It's difficult to duel. He'll come. He'll be the one that has to like not be the flashy player and just kind of like gets no recognition all the time. Like, I definitely think it's Wemb as well. Like, I think maybe last year it was Dodge because Dodge was actually like crazy last year, but now he's got a girlfriend. He's just trash now. Like, he's actually trash. He's tragic. He's whipped now. Like, we've lost him. Man down. But I definitely think like Bendigo, like maybe it even was Wham and Bendigo because that backdoor, Wham just sat there and like the strategy was to go through the back door. And when the back door literally has an iron door on it it's just locked, like, what are you going to do? Like, you go fight Cody, you go fight Husky, Wham snipes you, Dodge snipes you. And it's just like, you can't do the thing you want to do because Wham is a lot of people's kryptonite. Like, I have heard so many people be like, I just can't shoot Wham. Wham is too good. Wham, like, yeah, like I know a lot of people that are like that, and I think that's a common thing. Like, I think like in Bendigo, Zeropa was my kryptonite, and he just sat at that back door and would just do well. And I think it's a thing that people who specialize in a thing don't get enough recognition for. Not like someone like Husky will, because like, oh my god, he's the best last line ever. But like,
I can't get into the base.
But like someone like a door defender just never gets that. Like, they never get any recognition, and I think Wham is definitely that player, 100%.
It's amazing how much I didn't really recognize. I recognized it, but it's amazing how much I didn't recognize it until we got to somewhere like Bendigo, and then I've got who I used to have, Brendan, who was also a super solid defender with me. He's now gone, and now I've got two people that I'm still learning a little bit about, learning to trust and learning to, I guess, how they play and how to play around them. Every game that I had Wham always on that back door gave me so much more confidence because I knew he would do his job every single time, and like it made such a big difference. Like in finals, like just having him existing
stats
there
in finals are crazy. I don't know if you've looked at them any of them, Butzer, but like he was scoring like 7K, 8K 0 bases. Like, he was going nuts. Like, there was a lot of games. I think the way that the Maze played, the door defender could actually do really well on pack because you had to go to them to get into the base because it was actually impossible. Like, unless you juke some people, like
you needed to go through them. Hobart here, pre-nats?
No, Bendigo. Hobart, Bendigo. Like, I think Hobart, Wham not struggled a little bit, but like took a little bit to get used to it, and like the first training day was a bit rough, and then I think Wham said something to us and it made a lot of sense to Wham, and then after that I think Wham was like a lot better and he felt a lot more comfortable. He still isn't a huge fan of H2, but I think that's just because of the way he plays, and it doesn't like fit perfectly to him. But I think there's no way he doesn't just adapt and just he will do a lot better at Nats.
Well, if the timing drops in for him like it does with Helios, because I consider him, he's one of the only players. Zeropa can do this as well, but I don't think he's as consistent as Wham. But I feel like Wham can consistently keep people down on Helios. Like we talk about how easy it is to double on Helios, which it is. Wham is a player that, I don't know, maybe it's just when I come up against him, or maybe it's just not just me, but he can continuously keep me down. Like if I don't...
Because of how he plays and how what you've just said, Wham is actually thinks that the up player has an advantage because he fucks that many people. He actually thinks that the up player has an advantage because it's like, he thinks it's a psychological thing because you can like, you're dead. Oh no, I'm going to lose. Like I need to beat the up player. That Wham destroys that many people that he just thinks that like the way that it is psychologically you have the advantage.
Wins off mental.
And I think I think it's true. I think it's actually true. Like it's hard to be dead, have to be the one to make the play, to not get the double or whatever. And I think it is a difficult thing to like. You lose one standoff and it's like your brain starts ticking, and then you lose two and you're like, and then you just got Wham sitting there like just chilling, just killed you again, killed him two more.
Bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
Yeah, but
Put
I
you
mean,
through a sixth reload, bang.
back in the old days, a door defender was like winning if they doubled, right? But he just like throws that out the window and just keeps winning his standoffs.
Literally,
like, it's quite ridiculous. And I did see, I think at Hobart he got 118% tag ratio. Might have been for the tournament or might have been for the final. And I was like, none of the door defenders were getting that kind of tag ratio. So
especially because where Wham was playing, he was playing like the bad doors.
In the hard
he was
spots,
playing the hard spots and scoring these points. Like it's just wild.
Yeah. So, and I think the best for me anyway, we always had a combination of like we had a beefy as last line, but he was able to not get shot out for different reasons than you, Husky. He'd just find a way to contort his body where he couldn't get hit, and then we had Ibo on the outside, and it was kind of our Wham Fox Husky combo. It's like first you've got to get through a guy who's like really hard to hit on the door, and then you've got to get past the last line, which is theoretically like so well hidden in the base that you only get to get them such a small percentage of the time. So I think that combination of you guys is like makes your defense so I know intimidating, and that's why. And then of course that helps as well because people stay away from you. Then suddenly you can kind of push your floats out a lot more. And no doubt you notice it when he's not on the door because it would just be different not having Wham Fox on the door. I'm sure.
Yeah, it is a little bit different, but especially having him there for years. Like it still took me years to get used to him, but having them there for 6-7 years, like. You know, you grow very accustomed to knowing where he is and everything. Obviously, when you have a new player, or when I play on a completely random team, that trust it's just not there in comparison.
Yeah. And it affects how busy you can get inside the base, doesn't it? Because if you fully trust your defender outside, you're moving from door to door and position and everything. But so everything elevates once you get to that level of synergy, I guess, with your team.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, boys. All right, so. Well, I need to ask, you need to tell us what your favourite year is. Is there a favourite year of your victories?
Aubrey?
I think,
No, I don't think so.
see, the thing with Aubrey, right, we just won, like, I feel like we were just better than those two teams in the finals. Like, it wasn't interesting. But I also, like, Sunny Coast was so close, it didn't feel good, and obviously I did not enjoy the last game, but maybe actually Bendigo? Oh, no, actually, no. It was Darwin. Beating GP felt really good. I really enjoyed the GP guys. They were all lovely, like talking shit, having fun, really good. And I just remember I was so happy and like nervous. I like hugged Yor after we won, which is the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. And I was like, he's going to squeeze me and I'm going to die. Like I'm dead.
Just pop you.
But like that win was good. Like I really liked that win because I think it was just like one of those things where it was just like, these are the best. This is the best team in the world. This is the best team in the world. And like they had their years. They were learning this like everything that we did over in Australia. They were getting better because they came from Albury, Sunny Coast, and then Darwin. Am I missing a year? And then Darwin, they were like hackers crazy. So like it was just like it was such a good win to win Darwin. I feel I would have been better if Sharks weren't in there and it was another team that was like less scared and more ready for the finals. I think it would have been like the best year ever if it was like, I don't know, maybe if Spartans made it that year, but they pooped the bed in the last game.
Haas, what do you reckon?
True.
Oh, like I was gonna say Albury, but then saying that, I think this year, honestly, with all the big, sorry, not this year, last year, with all the big team changes, that felt amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was so like, you don't understand how like I was so unconfident. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna do it. Like you obviously got Bren who's captaining for the first, well, not the first time, but he's captaining a top team for the first time. You've got like all the team dynamic changes. We're changing the way we're playing. I'm playing outside of base. There's like so many things that were playing against us, and I was just like, I don't know how we're gonna play here. I don't know how this is gonna go. And then to come out and win that nationals was. You probably saw it. I literally picked up Simi on the stage. Like I was so excited. Like yeah, like it was amazing.
After Bendigo, I remember at the end of the game, Grob and I went to each other and we're like, we've lost. Like we knew it. We were like, we just lost. Like God damn it. Like, and then Dodge just waddles over and he's like, I got green, and we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, I just got green, and I'm like, we've won. We've actually won. And then we went out and a couple people gave us like the little like eyeballs like when we walked out. So I started to like my sickness went away and I started to feel a little bit better after that. And then obviously we won, and it was just like it was a really good feeling because like obviously I didn't play. Like it was actually I was struggling at the start of the nationals. Grub was getting annoyed at me, and then it just took me a while to like get kicked back in. And then once we did, it was. I wouldn't say like Spartans were winning the whole tournament and then we won finals. So like, I just think it was a good final series at the end. It's very interesting what happened.
I think from an outsider, like I'd say to Grub when you arrived back, it felt like the most impressive victory looking at it from the outside because of the things you spoke about, hustle, the team changes, like the fact that you didn't. Yep. There was a big question mark. Okay, Husky, they can't put Husky inside a base. They're going to have to play him outside the base, which obviously is an excellent player, won doubles and everything else anyway. But still, when you've got a one wood like Husky inside a base, and then that's not there anymore, there's like, okay, what's going to happen here? Yeah, and you had all that going, like, all that happening, and all the new players and everything, and you still managed to get the victory. So I felt like that was a lot of things you guys had to overcome to get that, and you had to use more of your experience. Did you say you used more of your experience, just raw skill to win in Bendigo?
Like I don't know about everyone else, but I'm not a very smart player, so I just rely on brawling. Like that's just it. Like I think anyone could sit there and watch me play and go. What?
Literally, when we play doubles, I'll be like, come here, we'll do this, we'll do that, and I'll tell him before the game, we'll be like, we'll do this, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, like I have no clue I'm doing half the time, but it's it's good that I can brawl people. I can like. I sucked at brawling until about 2 years. Like I think it was after like was it Sunny Coast? I actually started practicing a lot more outside the base, just brawling, and because I had no confidence, I'd go up against cans and I'd be shaking in my boots. I'd go up against like potato, absolutely freaking out. And I remember how frustrating it was because I hadn't played much outside like with brawling and stuff. And I remember I'd go up against Nick and I'd lose constantly. And at that time, especially, it's like, oh my god, I was an absolute mess when it came to like I'd get so angry. Like everyone probably remembers that. But once I kind of got that confidence and felt a bit more complete, I think everything got a bit nicer. Yeah. Yeah.
So so Lilbo, I'm going to give a bit of a pat on the back here. I'm feeling like you're the up there as with Husky in our home arena now in terms of last lining. Like I have a
Whoa.
big ass like
Whoa.
in green. I'm like, holy shit! I'm not going anywhere near green base when Lilbo's in there. How are you guys going to do it? How are you guys going to split the last line duties? Are you gonna? How much can you share with us?
Cody's just washed, so Lilbo will just be in the base.
It's true.
Okay, yeah, great. I think for Pre-Nats 3, we kind of like worked out which of each of our bases were like better to be inside of. So like I found that Cody played a lot more in blue, and then I played a lot more in red, and then we could kind of like we could definitely interchange in green. But it's like I think, especially when it comes to Nats, and you know everyone's going to have to sit. Like when Cody sits, I can play in, and then when I sit, then Cody does his thing, and I think we're going to be able to split it like fairly evenly. I definitely am going to be on the door more often than not, but because this guy's crazy. But...
Yeah,
are you pretty pumped for it, Hus? Are you like pumped for the change?
Yeah, it's a bit like, again, it's like when we had Jimmy as well. Like having that left hand dynamic is really awesome, and it's a nice feeling knowing that. Like in previous years, we've never had that solid inside defender, and then when we got, let's say, Jimmy for the Brisbane comp, knowing that we could trust him to be inside base was fantastic. And now we've got Lilbo, so whenever I sit, I have a lot of confidence that he can just do the job fantastically, which is awesome. And then obviously, being able to step outside of base is pretty special as well. Because don't get me wrong, I love playing inside of base, but like being able to get outside and brawl with people it's a nice change. It is. But in saying that as well, it's also a bit competitive as well, because I wanna still be that under defender, but it's getting hard to compete against. Like he's got speed, he's very aggressive on doors and things as well, so he's just catching people off a lot as well, which I've definitely stepped back from in comparison to what I used to do. So he's got a lot going for him as well, which makes him really fantastic under defender as well.
He's going red. Look at him. Did you see his cheeks?
Huh?
Look at Lilbo's cheeks.
Stop it.
He's going red.
No, I'm not.
Blushing.
I think the dynamic also works because I'm short. It's
Right.
like we can definitely interchange.
And like I think
like-
you play differently in a base compared to Husky. Like the way you play a lot lower, and Cody goes for a lot more gunshots, and like I think it just works well. And I think the best thing that no one said just then is like if I get my base or something, I'm playing bad. Brendan Grubb wants to attack with Husky, and we attack with 3, take Husky out, Lilbo in, or we can just do anything. Like Lilbo out, Husky in, Lilbo in, Lilbo out. Like it's just a good thing to have going. Because if you don't have multiple people who are confident in a base, like I can just jump in there. Doesn't mean I'm going to go crazy. I might just kill, like I'll live for a bit and then I'll get caught off guard or something. But like if you have multiple people who can just sit in and are just really good in a base, it's just like it's so valuable.
You actually notice that when you're versing teams as well, when you don't have that other person that can confidently get inside the base and hold as well, because you'll notice if I go out and attack for a change, every team picks up on that. They're like, Husky's out. And then they just bounce straight to our base because that's the time to go. Exactly.
It's our time. It's our time.
Exactly. Like it's a thing. But now we've got Lilbo, it happens less. Like people can go out and people are like I think I'm more washed anyway, so people just come to our base anyway. Yeah,
Jesus.
but
You got a few years to go, mate. You got a few years to go.
now I'm old now.
Oh, that's
Got back problems.
That's a good question. How long are you guys going to go for?
I say I'm going to quit every
How do
year.
you keep it rolling?
I got ages,
Yeah.
bro. I got ages.
Like-
it's really your question. guys.
Yeah, it's like hard because I've played people played longer than me, and the community's absolutely amazing. But like, there's like a lot of life commitments that have come around now. Like I own a house, and now I've got to pay for that. So like when it comes to the year when we've got Worlds and Nationals, currently I'm saying I can't afford both. Like I've got to go to one and not the other, and I think it'll be more like I'll go to Nationals for that year. And then like I want to with work and stuff. It's already difficult enough to try and get the time off to go to Nationals. I've like every year I've had such trouble, especially in Queensland Health. Like it's just an absolute joke to try and get time off. So let alone then trying to book another holiday later in the year to try and I want to travel. I want to go to Japan and stuff like that. And with LSA, it's kind of hard to do. So I've kind of committed to next year because I've already told Nick that I'm playing doubles with him. Well, he's told me. But after that, I'm not sure. I say it every year, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to, obviously I love the community, but I also want to go travel and live life. So we'll see.
Okay. Unknown quantity. Wax, what do you think's going to happen to the team?
I feel like I say it every year. Like I always say, I'm going to quit. I'll quit. I'm quitting. I'm done. But I feel like Bendigo was the first time I like really stepped back. Like I didn't play I didn't train before Bendigo. I barely played anything. And if I did, I'd just sit on my phone at the site. Like I would go home early.
It showed.
Okay, buddy. I literally got 4 trophies. All right. No one can get 4 trophies and say they were bad. Like go away. But like it was the first year I realized that like how much I actually really enjoyed LSAC and how much I wanted to keep doing LSAC. And I think like if things go like right, not right as in we win, just like I keep enjoying it and I keep wanting to do it. Like I definitely can see myself doing it for at least a couple more years. Like if everyone's still around, I'm keen. If everyone's like, no, we're dipping. I play LSAC for the boys. I don't play LSAC for myself. Like I just play because it's something that we all do and it's like it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's a good way to spend time with all your mates. Like we go have fun for 2 weeks. It's always the best 2 weeks of the year. Like just go enjoy yourself, go to somewhere nice, go eat food every day, run around. It's just always good. So as long as it keeps being fun for me, I think I'd like and have money. I think I'll keep doing it for at least a couple more years. Like I might get to like I'm 25 next year. That's terrifying. But like if it just like if I get a little bit older and I just don't enjoy it as much, I probably won't. Yo, you're 25 too, all right?
No, you're right. I'm 25, but at least I'm not working at college.
I knew it.
Oh, no. Stop.
Go wipe someone's ass, okay?
Well,
Halfway to 50.
I love it. Yeah.
well, there you go, guys. All of Australia, if you want to win a Nationals, just make it really unfun for Nick and Cody this year.
Yeah, if covering becomes a rule that you can cover, reflex are like abused as hell. I might just like lose my mind and quit. Roof shots might lose my mind and quit.
Oh no, not roof shots.
I would have quit like 15 times in my first 10 years if those rules were in play. All those things used to exist. Roof shots and covering, all those things.
I'm so glad
You guys came into the golden
thing.
era.
It's so good.
Thank God.
I actually would have lost my mind. Like I still lose my mind when people shoot walls at Lawton right now.
It only took us about 10 years, mate. We got there eventually. Got that covering rule out.
Thank gosh.
Yep. Yeah. So we're going to see you guys in a world's squad. Do you think? I mean, one thing that we all are curious about is how you guys are going to go on Worlds format against different opponents on a different format. You've adapted to the whole Helios 2 and everything so well. Like I've got no doubts that you could do it, but until you actually do it, nobody actually knows. Do you guys get curious?
Yeah,
100%. Because we were supposed to go to Malaysia as well before COVID happened, and that was like I'm still disappointed that we didn't go because it would have been cool to like if we won and it was like Wolfpack is the team, like they are the team. And then it was just like obviously COVID, but we've spoken about next year. If someone else wants to talk about it, or
I've really heard you guys talk a huge deal about it, but
Like
what
have we spoken about it much?
the three of us have.
I don't think we've spoken about it.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like half of us are keen, and then we've also been talking to like other people, just like in case, in the sense that all 6 of us like don't want to go. We're just talking to people out of state, being like, "What are your thoughts?" Blah 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 blah, and just kind of getting a gauge before we make a commitment so early.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, I think the 3 of us, or at least me and Wax, I'm not sure about Husky, whether commitments can stuff gets in the way.
I would love to. I really want to go. Trust me. Like I'd love to have the opportunity to play Worlds at least once.
Just sell the house.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
Just yeah, sick. I'll just sell the house. Yeah, no problem.
Just sell the room.
Sell the room. No, don't do that anymore. No.
I got his ass. Look at it.
Jesus Christ. It'd be amazing. I honestly but yeah, it's just difficult at the moment. I think with life. But I'll do everything I can to go though. I will. Yeah.
Oh, mate, crossing everything for you guys to get a squad together, and there is a certain couple of Tasmanian players that if you guys decided to team up with, might be a pretty formidable. I won't poke
when
there.
Butz has heard about it. Butz knows what he's talking about.
Oh, I just think that'll just be a wicked combo. I haven't heard anything, but if that happens, that's going to be it's probably our best crack. If we're being honest,
awesome.
yeah. I think we'd have a red hot crack, and those guys love that format. And
Defending with some of those boys. Oof.
Yeah, that'll be a mean combo. Let's just put that in the stew and brew that up a little bit. All right, guys. I just noticed where the time is getting on. I'm gonna wrap up with the last few questions now. Tell us about who you guys see as the most promising talent, team and individual out there that's coming through behind you guys.
Shout out Quantum. These guys are crazy. I reckon they're gonna go nuts at Nats. You watch them, bro.
Quantum sim.
Like, honestly, I would
Sim.
consider myself a
That's
quantum
fair.
sim.
Except for Jam. Jam sucks.
Except for Jam. Jam sucks. Correct.
Poor Jam.
No, not
Love
poor
you, Jam.
Jam. He deserves it.
I think there's a lot of underrated new talent on that team that people are not going to be ready for when they're in the full swing of things. Like, if they can work it out, they're going to go crazy.
Especially if they
That's all
adapt
I'm
to Helios 2 over Nats and
Yeah.
pick it up. I think Pug.
Yep.
Pug's timing. We did a
Oh my God,
1v1v1. No, we did a 2v2. Hazmat and Pug versus Grub and I. And Pug sat there, killed me, killed Grub, killed me, killed Grub, killed me. And we're just I'm just talking smack. I'm like, my pack's broken. No, I can't. I'm just making all the excuses, memeing around. Because his timing is just so good. If he can adapt that to H2, Pug is actually crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, some of those boys. See how they're similar to when we first started. Their individual pack skills are very good, scarily good. And I think that's something to really look forward to. It'll be a bit more difficult adapting the H2, but I think there'll be a team that you'll watch climb as the competition goes.
Yeah, I've noticed just in the last fortnight, and it's particularly since he got back from Prenats 3, but yeah, Pug's gone to another level now. He was already a handy player, but now he's got that extra level of awareness that going to a big comp gives you, and then that pack timing, it was only league, but last night he literally shot me, walked into the base, took it 3 times, turned around, shot me on the way, black pack each time.
His timing
walked
is
out of the base.
insane. It's actually
how are you
insane.
doing that?
Yeah, it's wild. I'm trying to think of
So
out of state.
anybody from out of state? Anybody from
I think Cerebus would be really really interesting to watch how they do, because there's a lot of talent on Cerebus that is I'm going to shout out Tiger here. He's literally on a Smurf account. I don't know if you guys see Prenats 3, but the moment he got into Cascades, he's just yep, this is my game now. I'm going to run it the way I want. And he just went nuts. He got 5th on the solo ladder.
If that man is not on Vikings next year, oh my gosh. I just call him up now. Just put him on the team. Do it right now.
Yeah, he would be a really good choice. I think pick up for Vikings if he does.
Yeah, they're in a sweet spot now. They've got the 3 teams, and you can see their players developing really, really rapidly at the moment. So yeah, if they can keep that flowing, elevate some of those players through to the Vikings team, as some of the older players start to move on, then they're going to be in a really good space for the next 5 or 10 years.
CV's going to be 7 years.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Alrighty, guys. All right, just to wrap it up, we're going to do a couple of quick fire questions. I'm going to say it. Just give us 1 or 2 word answers. Let's go. We'll start off. We'll go Lilbo, Husky, and Wax in order each time. You guys keen for that?
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Favorite event. So let's say actual doubles, triples, teams, whatever event. What's your favorite event?
side event?
Side event or main event? Anything. Could even be vampires if you wanted to.
I think lore and doubles are very I'm gonna say doubles. I think doubles is probably the most fun laser tag that you can play at nationals. It's just insane. It's intense. There's heaps of teams running around, and it's super fun.
Yeah, agreed. Huss.
Bucket.
I'd love you
Bucket.
right now.
If bucket
no.
is the funnest thing you could play, you guys should totally learn to play. But in all honesty, doubles. I just love doubles. It's just absolute chaotic, and that's the type of LSA I like to play. So it's good.
Good.
I think like if you have teams in that, you can't go past teams. Nothing beats teams. Teams is just the best.
Well, teams
is like just better.
I don't think teams are the.
But just said teams.
Yeah.
No, it does.
A side event. I love law. I think law is very very fun,
especially when you're getting second.
Snap. All right, favorite arena, Lilbo. What's your favorite arena, brother?
Currently, probably Hobart, and then I'd put second Canberra because I went to Canberra recently, and Canberra was like
Canberra
really
gets a
fun.
shouting. Beautiful.
But I reckon Hobart right now, the way it plays, the packs as well, so fun, so fun.
Beautiful. Hus?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have both have the exact same answer, me and Nick. But Aubrey, I loved Aubrey. Like
Really?
how big that arena was, and like, it was just a lot of fun to play. Like like you won't really get arenas as big as Aubrey was, and that's why I'm very much looking forward to next year with Aubrey, because I think that'll be it won't be as big and as exciting, but like it'll be still that vibe, I think.
It takes people so long to get to the inside of your base so you can shoot them, though. Surely that's not a good thing.
No, but they stay there because they're too lazy to leave now because the walk's too fast, so we can just
True.
keep killing them.
Just keep walking in.
So true.
Yeah, just got to get Wax to throw them through the reload every now and then.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, Wax.
I was gonna meme and say Code Red, but it's a bad meme because that's like that's like a hazard. I think my favorite would be Adelaide. We played a tournament after the nationals, and I just fell in love with it again. Like I was like, this is amazing. Like it was too good. There was definitely some things that could have been better, but like just the way it played was I loved it so much.
Have you played it since it's shrunken in size?
No, but I did help Ryan, and we spent like 8 hours that day trying to remake that maze because it was so bad. And they just don't have some space, enough walls. Like it's just trying to make it into a playable thing was impossible.
A little bit of a Wax magic touch and instantly favorite arena. Beautiful.
True.
Lilbo, pre-game ritual. Do you have any pre-game rituals?
Yeah, this is hard to try and answer. I was like, if I was to say something, I get a lot of encouragement from when the games start, like you're in the loading part of the game, to immediately as the game starts, sprint as fast as I can to the most optimal position, like try and beat the other person to that spot. It's like, I don't know, every time I'm going to say blue at Launton right now, if I can run out front door and get to the squiggly wall at green before the green defenders get there, I'm like,
game's
this is
over.
my game, bro.
You've won.
Yeah.
That's a good ritual.
That's funny.
Mr. Haas, you got one?
It's like a 2. The first basic one is basically the start where we're hands on Wolfpack, like that's a really big vibe. But you'll kind of see on the camera. I'll do a demonstration.
Oh gosh,
but,
I know what you're about to do.
But you'll see in the camera and the warm ups, I'll just be just moving, just getting ready. Yeah, like it's just this stuff, and I'll be running, legs up. I'm just I don't know. It's just I get very nervous, but being able to explode that energy before the game starts, it just gets me into a ready mood.
We all get very nervous when we see you doing that as well. We're like, oh shit, he means business this game.
He's warming up.
Stay away from their base.
Yeah.
Wax, what's your pre-game ritual, mate?
I actually don't think I have one. I think that too. The catalyst, the hands thing, the Wolfpack or catalyst, that really pumps me up, and the running thing as well that Lilbo does. I will just try and first death, get it out of the way, just try and kill someone, and then just use a burst of energy, and then your blood's slowing and you're going. So that's something that I would like to do. That I do.
I was gonna say you normally go to the toilet.
That too. I do go to the bathroom a lot.
That seems to be your
That
pre-game.
is my pre-game.
Just let one rip. And
Oh, guys, I need to shit. I'll be back.
True. Very true.
Whatever works for you, mate. You got to go for it. And one thing you never do before a game, Lilbo.
One thing you'd never do.
You'd have this one. I wasn't ready for this.
Something you'd never eat. Something you'd never do.
One thing I'd never do.
Yeah.
Can I?
I'll go
veto
first.
to
I
Husky
know
and then
what
come
mine
back?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Go on.
stomach is terrible, so I just don't eat on finals day. Otherwise, I'll get violently ill. I just won't.
You don't eat at all.
I'll have like a snack, and that's it. It always bites me in the ass in the second game of finals, but like if I eat, it's no good. So on finals day, I just bare minimum. That's it. Like a lot of water.
Simi, we need to make the finals like 11:30 at night.
I'm
Right?
gonna
just
die.
put that request out there early.
Oh man, do you have an answer, Lilbo?
No, I'm actually
Nah.
like I'm like struggling.
I
It's,
haven't even thought about it. Like oh man,
You could-
I
you
just
could say something-
wait. Like, I'll probably not eat anything that's gonna make my stomach go absolutely crazy, like spicy food. That's a bad one. Like, because then I get in the game and I'm having the wax scenario. But like, I don't know. I don't really have one. I think I just go and play.
All right, I've got another question for you. If you don't have an answer to that
This is
one,
very
you can answer the other final
Mm.
question. Who do you not want to sit next to on the plane?
Is this even like? Do we even have to answer this? Aren't we looking at the person right now?
yeah.
Wax is self-declaring.
My stomach
I
is
don't
like
even-
non-existent. It is like a bomb. Like if I eat any food, I'll just start farting. It's no good. I just starve myself. That's actually why I'm a twig.
And he's lazy enough that he won't even give us the.
I will
courtesy
try,
of
but
moving.
my
He'll
stomach's just
No,
like
you
it's
won't.
happening.
We-
You've got no stopping.
We
this.
were having team chat, and he'll be like, "I'm sorry," and then we'll look and we go, "Oh, okay, it's happened again."
I'll try
and
and
we have
walk
to move.
away.
Like,
It's too difficult sometimes.
but yeah,
I need
and
to
you
see a
walk away
doctor.
in the
I need
direction
to
of the wind, and then the wind blows it straight back at us. Like, anyway, yeah, definitely him.
Well, it was good that we've clarified where other teams should stand in relation to you guys when doing team talks as well. That's very kind of you
Dude,
guys to declare that.
At Prenats 3, when we were having like a team talk down at the bottom, and then like Wax like walked towards the steps and like let one rip, and then I don't know, it was like a team like Rampage or something came down the stairs and then walked through, and they're like, "Oh, what?"
I need a doctor.
Well-
okay? I need to see Jesus.
Well, gentlemen, I'm so glad we had this time together. We've had a very highbrow conversation throughout the entire experience. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on. Best of luck at Nationals with the new, more new combination, and what will be another record. Well, do you guys add your Wolfpack in? Yeah, of course you do. It'll be another record number of ones in a row if you manage to pull
Does
this one
Jesse?
off.
Does
Jesse's-
Jesse do it?
Jesse's
Because
got
he got
four.
silver back. Yeah, he got 4 in a row. He got silver
Yeah.
back in 3 with you guys. Does he
So-
add the 2?
So you guys all. Well, no, because it was a different team, but you guys are kind of the same team with a different name, you see.
That's fair.
This was like a
yeah.
whole different team. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we definitely still. It'd be really rough if we didn't count together. Yeah, but no, definitely.
Just
Hopefully
do
we
it.
can keep
Just
all the
count it
finals
together.
alive as well. Yeah.
I'm so keen for nationals. It's gonna be so good.
have
Underdog,
no idea.
like Vikings being so good. Oh,
Yep.
it's just gonna be.
Do you think
such
this will
an
be your
interesting-
finest?
So-
This will be your finest moment if you guys can pull this one off. Will this be the ultimate feather in the cap, given the strength of
To
the
be able to do
home
it on a different system
Yeah.
would be absolutely crazy.
I think that's the
but
big.
It's such
That's
a big
the big
challenge.
hope. That's
Yeah.
the big thing that everyone like hopes is like they're going to be bad on H2. They're going to be this on that. They're going to be this. They're going to be bad in Hobart. They're going to be that. They're going to be bad with that. Like I think this is like if we win this, it's just like now what? Like what do you say now? Like it's just like
Go to Worlds. That's what we say.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think this Nats is going to be one of the most interesting Nats ever, especially if Cobras have been hiding away in NZ and then they come out and they're like, oh, we're actually crazy now. Like, you guys all suck. It's like, oh my God, what is going on? And like, there's a couple teams that could do like, that could be there. Like, and it would just make a very interesting finals.
Yeah, it's really lining up to be one of the hardest, isn't it? Really, with all the factors involved, the amount of quality teams, the change of system, the quality of the home team.
Yeah.
So
the
yeah,
quality
best
is
of
really
luck,
good.
gents. Yeah.
No pressure.
All right, no pressure at all. We're going to wrap it up, guys. It's been absolute awesome having you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on, and yeah, we'll see you on the stream at Nats.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, What's up?
Laters. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Yes.